Man, I'm built different, period. I'm just built different, man. And I've always had an eye, discipline, and a work ethic that I've had at a young age that I just apply it there.
Imagine your entire city plunging into darkness, right in the middle of December. The festive lights, the street lamps, the traffic signals, everything gone. All you can see is a sea of black, except for one single house, blazing with more Christmas lights than you've ever seen. It's a scene straight out of a movie, but it actually happened. A modern-day Robin Hood who risked it all for a truly spectacular reason. This story begins in a quiet, unassuming town, where December usually meant festive markets and cheerful carols. But one year, a shadow fell over the city. Not a metaphorical one, a literal one. The city's main power grid was compromised. We're not talking about a simple blackout from a storm. This was a deliberate, sophisticated act of sabotage. Power company engineers were baffled. The grid hadn't just failed. It had been expertly routed. It was a heist, but the thief wasn't after money or jewels. They were after electricity, and a massive amount of it. For days, the city struggled. Businesses closed, daily life ground to a halt, and the holiday spirit flickered and died. The police and utility workers were in a frenzy, trying to trace the source of the power drain. It was like finding a needle in a haystack, a massive, city-sized haystack. They followed every lead, checked every substation, but the grid was a complex labyrinth. The thief had covered their tracks brilliantly, using a series of bypasses and relays that made the electricity vanish into thin air. Meanwhile, in one suburban neighborhood, something strange was happening. While the rest of the city was cloaked in darkness, one house stood out like a beacon. It was a spectacle of light, a dazzling display of every color imaginable. We're talking tens of thousands of twinkling lights. Giant inflatable snowmen glowing from within, and a rooftop display that could probably be seen from space. Neighbors, initially annoyed by the constant blackouts, started to connect the dots. How could one house have so much power when no one else had any? The man behind this luminous masterpiece was an electrical engineer named Arthur Vance. Arthur wasn't your typical criminal. He was a quiet, gentle soul, a widower who lived with his young daughter, Lily. For Lily, Christmas was everything. It was the one time of year that brought true joy back into their lives after her mother passed away. But that year, Lily was in the hospital, fighting a serious illness. Her one wish: to see her house lit up for Christmas, just like her mom used to do it, but bigger and brighter than ever before. And more importantly, not die. Arthur knew that doctors were worried. He knew this might be Lily's last Christmas. He promised her a light show she would never forget, a display so bright it would light up the heavens. He poured all his savings into buying thousands of lights, but when he went to plug them in, he realized the sheer scale of his project would trip every breaker in his house, and probably the whole neighborhood. He needed more power, a lot more. This is where Arthur's genius and desperation kicked in. He had spent his entire career designing and working on the city's power grid. He knew its every circuit, every weakness. He saw a way to divert a fraction of the city's power, just enough for his display, without anyone noticing. Or so he thought. What he didn't account for was the cumulative effect. His small diversions, amplified over a few days, created a cascade failure that plunged the entire city into darkness. The police, finally tipped off by the impossibly bright house, arrived at Arthur's door. It inside was a winter wonderland, with every surface covered in soft, glowing lights to create a magical atmosphere for Lily. He had broken the law in a major way, but to the public, he was a hero. He was a father who had moved heaven and earth, or in this case, the city's power grid, for his sick child. He was the Grinch who stole electricity, not to ruin Christmas, but to make it unforgettable for one little girl. The court case was a media sensation. His lawyer didn't dispute the facts. Instead, he painted a picture of a desperate father's love. They said that joy and hope it gave her were a form of medicine that no hospital could provide. The judge was faced with an impossible decision. The law was clear, but so was the human element of the story. In a surprising ruling, the judge acknowledged the severity of the crime. Arthur was found guilty, but his sentence was unconventional. He was ordered to serve community service, using his unique skills to help the city. His task: to design and lead the city's official holiday lighting display for the next 10 years, and to develop a more efficient, robust power grid to prevent such a thing from ever happening again. But the story doesn't end there. A foundation was started in Lily's name, called Lily's Lights, which raises money to decorate the homes of sick children during the holidays. The power company, after initially demanding restitution, publicly forgave the debt, and became the foundation's biggest sponsor. The city that was once plunged into darkness by one man's desperate act was now known for its incredible displays of light and compassion, all thanks to him. Arthur Vance became a local legend. He wasn't just the man who fixed the city's lights. He was the man who reminded everyone what the holiday spirit was truly about. It wasn't about the commercialism or the grand public displays. It was about love, hope, and the extraordinary things we do for the people we care about. Lily, against all odds, eventually recovered. This, above all, was the best part. And every year, she and her father would stand together and flip the switch on the city's Christmas lights. A symbol of how one small, desperate act of love could illuminate an entire community. This story teaches us that sometimes, the line between right and wrong isn't so clear. It forces us to ask ourselves, what would we do for the ones we love? Arthur Vance broke the law, yes, but in doing so, he created something beautiful and lasting. He stole December, but he gave his city, and his daughter, a gift of light and hope that would shine for years to come. What do you think? Was he a criminal or a hero? Even though I think he was a hero overall. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. That's what it's for. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible true stories. End of transmission. Reality will now resume.
Man, I'm built different, period. I'm just built different, man. And I've always had an eye, discipline, and a work ethic that I've had at a young age that I just kind of